I worked in a hospital and an alcoholic guy I knew from around my town came in. Of course, he was very drunk, so he got a bed. He was homeless at this point. Just as he was starting to settle, he screamed. I slit his fucking throat. So I went up to him and asked him to settle, and he started telling me that he did it well in the army and could never forgive himself for it. Cried himself to sleep and died in the local park a few months later. It was me who did the confessing. When I was 18, I was sexually assaulted on a bridge in the middle of the night when I was all alone. My mum works in hearing, and she had always told me to bite someone if I got into trouble. So I did. I bit into his neck until my teeth met again. He fell down, then I ran all the way home. A few weeks later, I read in the news that a serial assaulter had gone to the hospital with neck wounds and later died. They'd drawn it down to him attacking someone and them acting in self-defense. I never told anyone until I got really drunk with my boyfriend last year and spilled it. He couldn't believe I'd kept that secret. A friend of mine died from a drug overdose. After the funeral, a mutual friend of ours and I were getting drunk when he broke down crying. He asked me if I remembered the time when he and our dead friend told me about an accident that they'd witnessed where they saw a truck driver die. I told him I did. He then told me the most fucked up shit. He said that our friend ran up to the dying man and stole his wedding ring, and that the man couldn't do anything but look up, terrified, at our friend as he was being robbed. I knew they were bad into drugs, but I never thought they could do anything like that. I grew up with them, they were like my brothers. I don't really trust anyone completely anymore. 6 months after my now and finally ex-husband had separated and gotten back together, he confessed to me that while we were separated, he had drugged and raped me. He had convinced me before the confession that I had only been really drunk and came on to him and confessed my love for him, and it was honestly the only reason we got back together. After the confession, I spent a year and a half suicidal because I couldn't convince myself to leave again. A couple of my friends intervened and convinced me to leave. He wasn't even drunk when he confessed. He was sober and was like, now that I've confessed, you can't be mad at me because if I hadn't done it, we wouldn't be together now. It was a power trip for him and made me realize just how controlling and manipulative he had been during our entire marriage. It's really fucked up how people who profess to love you are sometimes the ones who hurt you worst.